Good morning to all. Today we will discuss about switchgear. Now it's the fourth part. In part 1, we have discussed what is switchgear, what is its purpose, and what is switch, isolator, and circuit breaker. Then in part 2, we have learnt about an MCB we are using for domestic purposes, its functioning, its construction. Then in part 3, we have discussed about circuit breakers, their ratings, and specifically about oil circuit breaker, its limitation, its advantages, its construction, and its types we already discussed till part 3. Now it's part 4. So in this part 4, we will learn about air circuit breaker. So let us start. So the arc extinguishing properties of hydrogen are much better than air, as we already discussed in oil circuit breakers. But air has several advantages over the oil. First one is there is the elimination of fire risk, and secondly the maintenance cost of the oil get cut off here, because in oil circuit breakers the regular replacement of oil was required, but in case of air circuit breaker no such requirement or maintenance is being done. Now the air circuit breakers are of two types. One is the air brake circuit breaker and second one is air blast circuit breaker. Air brake circuit breaker. So in air brake circuit breakers the contacts are separated and arc extinction takes place in air at atmospheric pressure. So basically the high resistance principle is used in arc extinction. The arc is lengthened by means of arc chutes, same as the case with miniature circuit breakers we already discussed. So with the help of arc chutes, the arc is lengthened. Due to this lengthening of the arc, the resistance gets increased because R is directly proportional to L. Due to this increasing of resistance, the voltage drop across the arc get increased, and the system voltage can't maintain this voltage drop, so the arc get extinguished. So the arc resistance is increased by cooling and by the lengthening of arc, and which results in the extinction of the arc. So this is air brake circuit breaker. So you can see arc chutes, means splitters. एक fixed contact है, one is the moving contact. In second diagram you are seeing the contacts are open. In first diagram the contacts are closed. So when the fault is detected by the relays, the moving contact moves away from the fixed contact and the contacts get opened. Now the arc get split by the arc chutes. Due to this, you can see here in second diagram the arc get lengthened. उसका जो length है वो increase हो जाएगा. Due to this, the resistance of the arc get increased. So it get extinguished. It results in the extinction of the arc. So this is air brake circuit breaker. These are some advantages of air brake circuit breaker. As we have seen, air brake circuit breaker does not require any associated equipment such as compressors. Because the arc is extinguished at the atmospheric pressure, it is just the lengthening of arc that is taking place with the help of arc chutes. So no compressors are required. Compressor is required in case of air blast circuit breaker. And secondly, there is no risk of fire. So the places where there is a possibility of fire, so OCBs, that is oil circuit breakers, can't be employed in those cases. So in such cases, air brake circuit breakers are employed. These are some limitations. Now these circuit breakers are obsolete. They are not using at substations. They are being replaced by vacuum circuit breakers and SF6 circuit breakers. So with the increase in operating voltage, such breakers become bulky, the arc chutes become more complex, and so the initial cost increases. Moreover, they are not so efficient. Their time of operation is not so small to make these circuit breakers suitable for modern power systems. So they are being replaced by vacuum circuit breakers or SF6 circuit breakers. Now second type is air blast circuit breaker. So in these circuit breakers, compressed air is used. Instead of air at atmospheric pressure, we are using compressed air. When contacts are opened, compressed air is admitted to the arc extinction chamber. So by doing so, the compressed air takes away the ionized gases along with it, and the arc gets extinct. So it is a blast of air which hits the arc. Due to this, the ionized gases are taken away by this blast of air and the arc get extinguished. Now the air blast circuit breakers are of three types. First is axial air blast circuit breakers, then is radial, and the last one is cross air blast circuit breakers. They are categorized on the basis of the direction of the flow of the blast of air. So in the case where the flow of air is longitudinal along the arc, then it is axial air blast circuit breaker. If there is double blast arrangement, then it is radial air blast circuit breaker. And if the air blast is directed at right angles to the arc, then it is cross air blast circuit breaker. So here you can see axial air blast circuit breaker. It is along the direction of the arc. Then cross blast, it is at the right angle to the arc. Then in case of radial, that is the double flow. From both the sides of the arc, blast of air is flowing. So these are three types of air blast circuit breakers. These are advantages of air blast circuit breaker over air brake circuit breaker. Firstly, their operational speed is high. Second is they are very suitable for frequent operations as compared to air brake circuit breakers. Then is the elimination of fire hazards. Then fourth one is their reduced size. Because with increase in voltage, in case of air brake circuit breakers, the size we are employing will increase with increase in voltage. Because the more lengthening of arc is required in case of higher voltages. So the size of the air brake circuit breaker get increased with increase in voltages. So the size is reduced in case of air blast circuit breakers. Now these are some limitations of air blast circuit breakers. First one is the compressed air at correct pressure, clean and dry must be available at all times. Second is there is a problem of leakage of air. So as we already discussed in today's scenario, vacuum circuit breaker and SF6 circuit breakers are preferred over air circuit breakers. So now air circuit breakers have become almost obsolete.